Hi everyone, it's Killshot99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 9 with today's question. Did Siddiq turn traitor? This is a rumor that's been going around. I know comicbook.com was on top of this. Spoiling Dead's fan page has talked about it. Not everybody's in agreement that this could happen, but it is a rumor and it does have a potential story that we would like to address. So don't take it as fact. Don't take it as spoiler just yet. But there are some scenarios that could play out, and Siddiq could have some rationale behind wanting to cut a deal with the Whisperers. So I appreciate you all being here. I see everybody is moving right along in their Saturday afternoon. We had some good dialogue earlier, a little bit of a rant, I think. So we've calmed down from that, and we do have the freestyle coming up tonight. Looking forward to that. It's a lot of fun. One thing that we are going to do, it's a little bit different tonight, is I've asked the Patreons to leave a comment. So tonight I am going to super chat on behalf of one of our Patreons, and we might actually do that on the Facebook fan page too. I might set up a poll because you guys know there's a lot of super chats going back and forth, and what we do is we shift topics and whatever you guys want to talk about. It's a lot of fun. It'll start with the Walking Dead topic, but sometimes it's about birthdays and states and a whole lot of other stuff. So really looking forward to that. Let's jump into today's topic, which is, did Siddiq turn traitor? So I do want to throw it out there for you guys. Based on what you know about Siddiq right now, how many people are kind of on board with this theory, think that Siddiq has been acting a little bit shady, doesn't have the relationship with Rosita? He's been very busy. He's doing his doctor stuff. Rosita's moved on. Could he feel slighted? He's going to be a dad. Do you guys feel like this is something that you can get behind, that Siddiq may turn on the group? I mean, he's no longer there just for Carl, but let's see who. Yeah, there's some agreement out there. I see some people saying me. Other people agree. Certainly, some people never liked him. What is a little bit questionable with that, he has been acting shady, but he did say, and I quote, "What does it mean for Alexandria to survive if the kingdom falls?" And Michonne said, "It means Alexandria survives." I love the passion in her voice. That was actually one of my favorite. She looked ferocious when she responded to that. And she's had, even the picture up on the screen where she's doing kind of the head to the side and the eye roll, she's given Negan that look a couple times too. I definitely loved that exchange. But that doesn't add a lot of credibility to Siddiq's theory that he could cut a deal. Now, there are some things that could make him change his mind. And so we're going to funnel it down. If you guys know our channel, you know what we do. We take a theory and we sort of break it apart until we can come up with something that we think is close, or at least a good suggestion. So those words alone make it less likely that Siddiq is going to turn on the group. However, Siddiq is not worried about the danger of the Whispers, and he wants the council to take a vote, and he wants to join the kingdom. Now, Wilson says Rosita could change his mind. Do you guys think that Siddiq will end up at the fair? Or could there be something that distracts him that even keeps him from going to the fair? So maybe he's not going to be right there around harm's way. And I've got a scenario of how I think this is going to play out. And I'll let you guys sort of iron it out a little bit until we can get a suggestion. So I don't think he's going to be at the fair. I think that Rosita, with her current medical condition, she's not going to be in a mood to travel, and I think he's going to stay behind. So I'm going to predict that Rosita and Siddiq will stay behind, and they'll never get to the fair. Now, there's also the possibility that, and mods, if you can make sure that this person goes away. Thank you. There's also the possibility that Alpha might end up going to Alexandria first. And if you guys know about our stream, this BVB 67 person, 67 is for the 67 different emails that he's used to create a fake account to come here and troll our stream. But I do want to thank BVB for watching the videos, and I want to thank you for the revenue that you helped generate for the 999 Army by being here and watching the view in the background. That is awesome work, so keep that up. Yeah. Even though he's blocked, it's awesome. He still comes here, and we appreciate the money. So, yeah, keep making fake accounts and come here and watch our streams. All right, so back on a more serious note. If Alpha ends up going to Alexandria first, is there a scenario in which Siddiq could turn traitor and give the information of where everybody else is? Give me a couple scenarios that you guys have. Jennifer Flair, you know what? I think it's obsession. I really think the dude is obsessed with me. When we have our gathering of the 999 Army, I'm going to invite him to Sonoy so I can just give him a big hug in person. Wilson says if more of the group starts dying to protect Rosita, thank you, Fluff. To save Rosita? Those are all good scenarios. Is it possible that it's after the death of Rosita? Do you think that Rosita could be on the chopping block and Siddiq has nothing else except his own life and decides to cut a deal to save himself? Bo says, not deliberately, he might come across an injured person who turns out to be a whisperer and tells them about the fair. That's a possibility, inadvertently. So, there's some scenarios where he could do it for self-preservation, to save himself. There's some scenarios where he could do it for other people. But many of you at the beginning of this stream did say that he doesn't seem like someone who is very popular at this point. That, and I mean from a viewer standpoint. Oh, this guy makes me laugh. How does one make 68 Google accounts? I just blows my mind. Fluff says maybe finds Rosita captured and gives up info to save her. So that's definitely a possibility. So here's the three things that I think could happen. Is one, Alpha storms into Alexandria, and either Father G or Rosita is dead. One of two. Now, if Father G dies, and Siddiq thinks that Rosita is going to be next, he cuts a deal to save Rosita. Now, Rosita has never seemed to be the type to go down without a fight, but Rosita's perspective could change. So, in the comic book where Michonne leaves, or the Michonne story, Michonne leaves with Pete, and Saddiq happens to be on the boat. Any possibility that Rosita is Michonne and Siddiq is Pete? I'm going to throw that out there. And instead of killing Rosita, her character has definitely gotten weakened. Is it possible that we move Rosita and Siddiq and the unborn baby and just move them off the show instead of going the comic route and killing Rosita and putting her on a pike? Is it possible that Siddiq turns and then they get that storyline? Just something to think about. The thing that I want you guys to remember, and this is very, very important. When is the last time you've seen Rosita be Rosita? Rosita wasn't even Rosita when Daryl drove the garbage truck into the sanctuary. She said, I'm going back. I believe in Rick Grimes. So it's been a while. I think the last time, exactly, I agree with that, Omicron. When she shot Lucille was the last time that I remember her being Rosita. I hate to say it, but I am. Magna is more Rosita than Rosita. When Magna came on the scene, Rosita got her walking papers. She's gone. Now, for the hardcore Rosita fans out there that are going to say, no, she's going to live, remember, her comic death is right around the corner. So you don't really have that to fall back on. It's not like, hey, the only fallback you really have is it's going to be different than the comics. Because if you think it's going to be the comics, she's dead. So the only hope that I think she really has is the fact that they could give her Michonne's storyline. Now, let's tie it back in because later on we're going to talk about Rosita. But this is really about Siddiq. So, Siddiq, his commitment was to Carl and was to Rick. Siddiq is kind of, I think he's paid his dues. Would you guys agree? I mean, Carl saved his life, and in return, Siddiq has saved a whole lot of other lives. So I don't believe in some of the stories out there that Siddiq has always been a Whisperer spy. I don't think so. I think if that's the case, they would have been vulnerable much, much earlier. He could have been out there manipulating people and destroying people. So he's a doctor. He's helped the group. So for Siddiq to turn, there has to be some incentive. And right now, I think his incentive is Rosita. So there's one of two things that I think are going to happen. Rosita dies, and Siddiq's on his own, and he has to give information to cut a deal with the Whisperers to save his life, or someone else dies, probably Father G. Don't think it's going to be Eugene, but I think Father G and then Siddiq doing it for Rosita, which would be a very, very complicated story because we always want our spies to be completely evil. We want there to be validation so we can hate Siddiq. So if he does it in a way where he's forced, that's going to create a dilemma for us. Because he potentially could get a lot of people killed by saving himself. But at the same time, where's the honor in you dying and your unborn child dying? There's no honor in that. So, the question would be, I'm going to ask you guys, put yourself in that situation. If you think the Whisperers are going to let you walk and let you get out of town, and all you got to do is give them a location of some people, then they could potentially get ambushed, and they're going to have to fight for themselves. You're not technically killing them. You're just putting them at an extreme disadvantage. I'm trying to rationalize it a little bit. Because for me, the beauty of The Walking Dead has always been this gray area where you could understand the character if you were in that situation. Because right and wrong is, it's so tough in a zombie apocalypse. You can't just say, well, this is the right thing to do. Siddiq just needs to die for all these people. Well, what's that going to get him other than being dead? It's a very tough situation. Nova Jinx says, Kills, remember when Enid was introduced, we all heard she was either a spy, yes, or Nova, we also, well, you never heard it here, that I can promise you, but there were other people who said that she was Negan's daughter. We tried to blow that theory up right out of the gates, but yeah, it gained some life, and there were people that talked about it quite a bit. Yeah, Kel, I can agree with that. It's hard to be judgmental, and we've flip-flopped around on people we like and people we don't like. Roxanne says a traitor is a traitor. Roxanne Dunlap. Let me see here. All right, Roxanne, let's talk about traitor. A traitor is a traitor. Let's put someone, maybe not Omicron. Omicron is too pro-whisperer. I need a volunteer. I need a male volunteer to make my point here. You guys want to help me out? All the ladies in the chat, all the single ladies. Can you guys just type someone's name, one of the male volunteers? Okay, Irish Dave. All right, I'm picking Irish Dave Doherty. Sold. Irish Dave Doherty. And I'll tell you why. And you guys watching along and watching the playback, you have to excuse this because this example is about to get super real. Do I have everybody's permission? If I have your permission to give a real example, I'm not trying to offend anybody, then give me a quick 999 in chat. Because this is going to be called the Roxanne Dunlap experiment. All right. All right, as you guys all know, Irish Dave Doherty is a relatively new father, as we've learned in some of our other chats. So congratulations to Irish Dave. There we go, Roxanne. And this is why I couldn't pick Omicron. Omicron's a little too dark. You know which side Omicron's on. So, Irish Dave, because you just went through this and you know the emotions. If our group, the 999 Army, was streaming, and I love Dave, and Dave's been a long-time viewer. And, we got a couple hundred people here. And Alpha rolled up on Irish Dave and his expecting wife. And said that, I'm going to take your world away from you, your wife and your unborn child, unless you tell me the location of those people that you used to hang out with. I told you it was going to get real. Dave, I'm pretty sure I know what your answer is going to be. And the deal is you get to walk. You get to walk. You don't have to walk with them. They walk one direction, and you can walk the other direction. It's a done deal. No, they're coming back after you. You get free immunity. Irish Dave, that took about 5 seconds. I'm snitching right away. So, Roxanne, I have to disagree that a traitor is a traitor. And this is the beauty of The Walking Dead. A traitor that has something different. But when it's a life or death situation, so 999 Army, I'm sorry, Alpha is going to roll up on all of us because of Dave. All right, Dave just snitched us all out. I'll make it more lighthearted. But the reality is, when you look at, and with The Walking Dead, they try to make these situations so personal. As viewers, I can't tell you how that feels because I don't have any kids. So I can't put myself in the position of Saddiq or Irish Dave or many of you. I can't. So it's why I have to rely on other people's perspective. And then it's also lessened a layer because we have the beauty of turning off our television when the show's over. We watch the TV show and it's like, hey, we talk about this, turn the show off. It's not real. The writers are trying to make it as real and as gut-wrenching and put you in the moment of the character. So to fully understand whether Siddiq has rationale, you've got to understand that some things have to happen. If they just walk up on him and he can't trust them, but let's say, for example, Siddiq is there with a very emotional pregnant Rosita, and Father G gets decapitated just like Alpha did to her own. And you got the horror of having to watch that. And then Alpha in that squeaky voice says, I am Alpha, and you're next. And then that's creepy enough already, right? And you know she's serious. You know why she's serious? Because you just saw what happened. And you know that it's going to be either you or her next. See, in Alpha's world, and Omicron, you can help me out with this. One little Saddiq running around is no risk. The other 150 people in the fair right now, they're a risk. So she can let one walk away. Well, see, this is why I sort of came up with the start running in one direction and let them go in the other direction. You heard that song? Give me 3 steps, give me 3 steps, mister, give me 3 steps toward the door. You probably know that song, right? So let us start to walk, and you guys get your herd going in that direction, and then I'm out. Then Siddiq goes and finds a boat, and then they're gone. So, yeah, I agree. You need some collateral. I would like some collateral if I'm gonna make the deal of a lifetime. Seth Morgan, super chat, and it says, good morning, Kills and 999 family. And this news about Siddiq being the traitor is heartbreaking because it waters down Carl's sacrificing and saving him. Well, yes, Seth, I would agree with that 6 years ago. But a lot has happened in the last 6 years. And Carl's gone. And Rick is gone. And the community's different. And Siddiq's a father. And that changes the game a little bit. So, yeah, it does. If you look at it from just strictly Carl's perspective, yes. But I think part of what we have to do with the time skip is realize all those perspectives have changed. And I don't know that after 6 years that Siddiq is going to continue to live his life to honor Carl. Not now. Maybe up to that point. And exactly. 7.5 years ago. But I would say that the last 6 years have been different than the first year and a half because Rick was still there. So he still had something, and now Carl's gone, Rick's gone. Maybe it's time for Siddiq to do something for himself. Now, once again, it's a rumor. It's out there, and I figured it'd just be a good idea for us to talk about it. I'm just checking out a couple comments here. So, RJ, Michonne should pike Siddiq in honor of Carl and Rick. Well, not that I think he's going to hang around. I mean, look, I don't feel like Siddiq is going to join the Whispers. I don't think he would want to participate in it. That's not the traitor part I'm looking at. I'm talking more about cutting a deal and leaving and not being around to see who wins, who loses. Nova, she's going to... That's a good question. If we even see her at the fair, I'm having my doubts now. I need to see her at the fair. I need to see her mingling. I need to see a lot of people there, not just pulling people out. But one advantage is, and we talked about this morning, even though there seem to be some plot holes and some laps in story, the people at Kingdom don't know who she is. So she's got that going for her. And apparently they didn't think enough about it to send word early. So it looks like things are going to happen fast. All right. Can you guys do me a favor and make sure show Dave Doherty a little bit of love for participating in that very, very rough example. I mean, granted, the 99 Army just got overrun by the Whispers, but I still think you made the right choice. Now, let me make it super, super complicated. What if Alpha has... One more question and we'll wind us down. Just a question for the entire group. Because I know some people are like, Siddiq's a traitor, just let him die. What if Alpha has Judith? And Siddiq has to make a choice of whether or not to save Judith's life or to give them the location and hope that they have a fighting chance and hope that when they get there that they can fight themselves out of it. What's your thoughts on that? Let Judith die? This is not for Dave Doherty. This is for the rest of you. I want to see what you guys would do in that situation. Ron's like, Judith would kill Alpha. Judith could never be taken. Yeah, I mean, what if she had that wire around Judith's neck? What are you guys going to do? And she says, I ain't even going to try to say it in her voice. Give me the location. All right. Looks like a few more people might be willing to give up the location to save Judith. Yeah, it's a tough one, right? Don't trust her. When will Negan be free? That is a great question. So look, everybody, we're at 30 minutes, and I hate to leave you on such a somber note, but when we get a rumor or a theory, the only way I know is to break it down beyond compare and get into the whys and the hows. Also, let me say this, because we had a stream early and I thought it was hilarious. When you guys join into my rant videos, understand that the niche that we are carving out here, I will always, until the end of the show, be a Walking Dead fan. Please, don't ever misunderstand that. Don't think that I'm bashing the show. One thing that we do here is we find the humor and the irony in some of the plot holes. And I think from an AMC perspective or a Skybound perspective or a Walking Dead perspective, that it's a refreshing viewpoint, because when if they listen to some of our playbacks and some of our interactions, they'll see like, okay, this is what the real fans think when they watch the show. There's people out there that criticize the show and stop watching the show. We don't criticize the show and stop watching the show. That's the difference. And there's also people out there that take everything the wrong way. We find enjoyment in it. Whether we rate the show a 7, 8, 9, or 10, guess what? We're always coming back to watch it the next week. And that's why we hype it up, and that's why we talk about it. With that being said, everybody, I want to thank each and every one of you. Also, special shout out to the patrons in the top left-hand corner, the channel members in the top right-hand corner, the moderators, Emmy, Steph, Tommy, Kels. And because we love the show so much, tonight at 8 o'clock, I am really excited about this. We did it last week. Last week's called our Freestyle Friday, but because of Captain Marvel, it is our Freestyle Friday on Saturday. It'll be 8 o'clock tonight. We're going to start out with a Walking Dead topic, so you'll see the video pop up. And then the subject will change. People will super chat, and they'll talk about a Walking Dead topic, or they'll talk about a personal topic. One thing that I'm going to do tonight as well is I'm going to super chat one of my Patreons' comments. So I put a poll on our Patreon site. So the first super chat is going to be on me. So I'm going to do it, and then we'll talk about it. We'll talk about some other topics. And as people chime in, we're going to jump around. And there are people I know that will be drinking beverages and doing things, and it becomes fun and chaotic and all of the above. So join us back for that at 8 o'clock tonight, and get involved in the chat. You'll learn a lot about different people. You'll learn a lot about our group for sure, and hopefully it'll be a whole lot of fun. So look forward to seeing everybody here. No more streams tonight until 8 o'clock, and at 8 o'clock we will be right here. So, and I'm quite sure Steph, the Cuervo Queen, will hold true to her name. Join us for that. I'll see everybody at 8 o'clock tonight. Give this video a thumbs up, everybody. We've got a ton of people here, so make sure you pike the like button on the way out the door, and I will see everybody at 8 o'clock tonight. Peace.